You see them every day, blending in with the crowd. Faces on the other side of the internet with pictures, names, words of their own. But they aren't real. They were never real. They look and act almost right, but something's off. Whether it's trying to get you to buy something or maybe think a certain way, they want something from you. Is that person yelling about politics even real? You have to think about it because you're not sure. You settle on real, probably, but it's hard to tell these days. He sounded real, didn't he? They keep getting better and better, more human and less robot. Who knows how many times you've already been fooled by them? How did we get here? Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Cricket's Campfire. We were on a bit of a hiatus for personal reasons there, but we're back. And today we're going to talk about bots. I'm sure you've heard the term bots. It's a pretty common buzzword when talking about the dangers of our very internet-centric lives. To the more tech-savvy, you already know what those are, but for clarity for everyone else, a bot is a program. It's a virtual robot who only exists digitally. Sometimes they're as simple as a few lines of text, or, oftentimes, much more in-depth code. These tasks are almost always repetitive, boring, time-consuming tasks. No human would want to go and do these things every day. So, someone writes a program to do these things. It cuts down immensely on the time a person has to devote to a website or task. Could you imagine trying to go out and find all of the internet links to put on Google? Even if you had a team of 60,000 people, it would be impossible to keep up with. A lot of bots are tasked with collecting and consolidating information, collecting it from different sites, putting it somewhere easy to find. Think Google. They're good at making things neat and organized. A good bot makes your experience on the internet smooth and many times safer. A chatbot can monitor live conversations and weed out troublemakers. Maybe you see a bot telling people the weather on some social media platform. Maybe you see them telling you what time it is. Maybe you see them reminding you that you've got a timer set. We've got hundreds of millions of them. They can be so useful, and throughout your day, you're probably being helped by an unknown number of them. But then there are the other bots, the ones that don't ever want you to know that you came in contact with them. Bots that are set in place by bad actors. They steal your public information to sell, email, spam, lie, or frustrate you. They're one of the biggest flaws to the internet right now. According to a study by Imperva, in 2019, about 1/3 of all traffic on the internet was created by bots. 33%. If that sounds high, that's nothing compared to a few years ago. In 2014, only about 40% of online traffic was human. Why are there so many? Well, at the root of that are a number of reasons, but the biggest will always be the same. Money. Is it something that you pay per view? Videos, news articles, this podcast even. Every view, every listen is a currency exchangeable for cash. Your attention is currency on the internet. Bots can generate all sorts of information. They can generate views, they can generate clicks, they can generate likes, they can generate bad information. But they generate that so easily that it's tempting to send bots on every channel to rake in those views. If there's something on sale that you can sell down the line for big bucks, scalper bots will buy it up before a human can even try. Think online ticket sales. I'm sure you've heard or experienced how difficult it is to find a PlayStation 5 right now that you can buy, or a Nintendo Switch, maybe a graphics card, maybe a CPU. You can bet that some bots helped these bad actors, scalpers, get a lot of those items instantly. Sometimes the motivation behind them is a little more obscure. DDoS attacks, or distributed denial of service attacks, are when you send a huge number of bots to a site or a location, overwhelming it and taking it down. Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, all of those big platforms have been attacked by bots in the past. They've all gone down by those bots in the past. They can be hard to deal with, sometimes even impossible. Cloudflare has made a business out of stopping bot attacks. There are other bots out there. They can brute force passwords or do a dictionary attack, or they can look at random characters and say, this definitely appears to be a password. They can get a single email address and just continually try passwords until they get in. They don't get bored. They don't stop. They just continue to hammer until they get in. Once they get in, they can do a lot of damage. Do you even know how many accounts are tied to your email address? I don't. Then there's a specific kind of nefarious bot. The ones made to look and sound like real people. They're on Twitter, parroting politics their owners want you to believe. Oh my goodness. Scary. Telling you about how great a product is from some sketchy website. They ask innocuous questions, trying to get you to answer security questions so that they can get into other accounts for you. Here's a story from my editor. She moderates a mid-sized stream on Twitch. We basically interact with two kinds of bots daily. The good little chatbots who have a job to do and do it routinely or on demand. They have usernames and everyone who comes by knows them well. We talk about them like they're real members of the community. One just sits there and gives out streaming information or responds to key phrases in chat. One puts up dog emotes whenever somebody mentions a dog. You gotta love dogs. Come on. It's a good time, I promise. And then there's a bot we wrote for the most important job, protecting the stream from bots and malicious accounts. While it was originally written to stop one dedicated harasser, the third bot has the added bonus of stopping bot attacks, which have been huge across Twitch in the last few months. Twitch notoriously has a low bar for new accounts, so you can make thousands of profiles easily and quickly, and then join those channels. Bots have been tearing through marginalized creators, spewing obscenities, targeted hatred, and some of the worst things you can imagine. At best, they're annoying, and at worst, they dox the streamer, filling the chat with streamer's personal information. Think of address, full name, followed by threats of harm. They have a megaphone for a small handful of horrible people. It can be terrifying. So, how do you stop something like that? With more bots. Also, of course, your host, Twitch, Cloudflare, or whomever, they're battling them daily and watching your traffic, trying to stop as much of it as they can without interfering with normal people. You can try banning them, but most of the time they'll just come right back. You can report them to the official platform host. A lot of those hosts will take action either automatically or within a certain time frame. You could also just set your platform to subscription only for a short time, or private, or whatever it is that that platform has. Sometimes it's difficult to keep humans safe. So we put in things like CAPTCHAs. CAPTCHAs can weed out the majority of malicious bots, and verifying your email will cut down on you having to enter in a CAPTCHA every time you go to that website. If you're ever trying to do something online that requires jumping through a lot of hoops, those hoops are there to trip up the bots. Bots can't make the jump required to get through what we can do so easily. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I'm not human, so maybe I can't do it so easily. Maybe I am a robot. At least not without a significant amount of work and effort. Bots don't really have an agenda. They're just bits of code that do as they're told. My teacher, when I started learning programming, told me the computer is a 5-year-old. You have to tell it to turn left when you want it to go left. You have to tell it to continue walking straight once you tell it to go left. You have to tell it everything you want it to do. And if it's out there doing something that you don't want it to do, it's because you told it to do it. The only agenda bots have is the one belonging to the person who wrote it. The problems on the internet have really never been the bots. It's the people behind them. Bots are here to stay. And they're just going to continue to grow in intelligence. We, for one, accept our new robot overlords, but maybe just the good ones.